بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد. الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام والسنة. All praise and thanks belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. This is a ni'mah that is tremendous indeed. We continue going over the tremendous book by the Fadilatul Shaykh Al-Allama Imam bin Baz rahimahullah ta'ala. The book which is entitled Durus al-Muhimma li'amat al-Ummah, important lessons for the Muslims, important lessons for the general masses of the Muslims. We have reached a section where the Imam rahmatullah alayh, he says Ad-Dars Al-Thalith, the third lesson. Arkanul Iman is about the pillars of faith. The pillars of faith. You know how we say Arkanul Islam, the pillars of Islam, Arkan. Naam. Likewise, in Arabic, the same is used for Iman, Arkan. Naam. Although in English, it has traditionally been translated as opposed to pillar, the pillars of faith, has been translated as the articles of faith. The articles of faith. Naam. Ala kulli hal, I want you to remember that the same word, Arkan, is also used for Iman. Naam. The same word is also used for Iman, Arkan. Imam bin Baz, he says, the third lesson, Ad-Dars Al-Thalith, the third lesson, Arkanul Iman. Arkanul Iman, here, the pillars of faith, or the articles of faith, that is translated often. They are how many? How many are they? 6? Sure? It's 5. Is it 5? 6. 7? Is it 7? No, it's 6, huh? Wait. 6. What are they? Now, give me one. Just give me one. Belief in Allah. Now, to believe in the books. Right. Believe in the angels. Hasanat. To believe in preordainment. Or, what is it? Qadr. Naam, divine decree. Qadr. And belief, what? Day of judgment. Belief, Yawm al-Akhir. Naam. The Shaykh, he says, وَهِيَ سِتَّةً, and there are 6. Oh, we missed one. Ahwan. And which one is what? The angels. Ahsantum. The messengers. Okay, now you're confusing me. So what are they again? Let's go over it again. It's what? Believe in Allah. Angels. Books. Messengers. Qadr. And? Nah. Believe in the last day. Wait. Mumtaz. So the Imam, he says, أن تؤمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله وباليوم الآخر وتؤمن بالقدر خيره وشره من الله تعالى, is to believe in Allah, the angels, the books, the messengers, the day of judgment, the belief in Qadr, the good of it and the bad of it is from Allah the Most High. Naam. Like, that order has significance. Naam, the order has significance because, one, this was the order that was this was the order that was mentioned by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Naam, in the famous hadith. It's a long hadith. It's a hadith of what? Yeah, you there? Naam, hadith of Jibreel. Ahsant. طيب. The Fadilat al-Shaykh Abdul Razak bin Shaykh Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad al-Badr حفظهم الله ta'ala, he mentions, he says, Al-Iman ashrafu al-Muttalib, that Iman is the greatest thing that is sought. Is the greatest thing that is sought. وَأَجَلُّ الْمَوَاهِبِ وَأَعْظَمُ الْأَهْدَافِ وَأَرْفَعُ الْغَايَاتِ وَأَنْبَلُهَا. Now, that Iman, this is the greatest thing that is sought, the greatest target, the greatest objective. Now, the greatest thing that one will try to accomplish. And this is something that is tremendous, that we need to really understand, so that we can better appreciate bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And this is why I often remind myself, and thus whoever hears me, right? Secondly, by saying Alhamdulillah ala ni'mat al-Islam wa sunnah. Na'am, bila shak wa bila rayb. This is a reminder to myself first and foremost. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. Na'am. Iman, this is the greatest objective. The greatest objective. Na'am. And I want us to remember this, especially those of us who are younger, right? Who may be early in their lives, where they're striving to accomplish this or to accomplish that. They have a list of accomplishments, things they want to accomplish, things they want to put work into attaining, things they want to work toward, right? The greatest thing that an individual could work toward is what? Is strengthening his Iman. Is strengthening his Iman. Now, so that's just something to think about, because we put a lot of time into other things. But inshallah ta'ala, we're going to see how one could strengthen their Iman. So Shaykh Abdul Razak, he mentions that Iman, this is the greatest objective, this is the greatest target, this is the greatest objective, the greatest thing that one could strive to achieve is Iman. فالإيمان يحيى العبد الحياة الطيبة في حياته الدنيا ويفوز يوم القيامة بثواب الله العظيم ونعيمه المقيم. That Iman, it brings life to the abd. It enriches, it enhances his life here in the dunya, so that he has a good life. Na'am, people looking for a good life here in this world, that can only be attained by Iman. That a person has Iman, that they will have a good life here in this dunya, and they will be successful on the Day of Judgment. They will be successful on the Day of Judgment, and they will earn as a reward the reward from Allah Ta'ala, the tremendous reward from Allah Ta'ala. The reward from Allah Ta'ala, the most great. They would earn the bounty that is lasting from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, that real bounty. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in His noble book, "Man amila صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن." That whoever does righteous good deeds, from the males and from the females, be it male or female, نعم, من ذكر أو أنثى, from the males or the females, whoever does righteousness, whoever does good deeds, from, be it male or female, from the who? The believers. وَهُوَ مُؤْمِن, and they are a believer. They are a believer. A believer is one who has what? Iman. The believer is one who has Iman. So if they do righteous good deeds, be it male or be it female, and they are a believer, Allah Ta'ala, He says, فَلَنُحْيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. So thus we will give unto him or her a good life. Hayatan tayyiba. We will give unto them a good life. Na'am. When a person realizes the connection between a good life and between Iman, then they realize that there is no option. We have to strive to believe correctly. There's no option. Right? Because if proverbially you had a choice, we'll say you really don't have a choice. Right? Because some things are not real choices. Correct? It's like if you were on a very high structure, very high skyscraper, and a person tells you, and they brought you to the roof, then they brought you to the edge. And they say, I give you a choice. You can stand here on the edge, or you can jump. Those are your two options. Is that a real choice? Huh? Is it a real choice? No, not at all. It's not a choice. Jumping is not an option. We're going to stand here. We're not jumping over there. We're not moving an inch closer. Because that's not a choice. So when you look at it from this standpoint, you realize believing correctly is not a choice. There's no option really in that. We have to believe correctly if we want a good life. Na'am. But believing correctly is not just that which will bring to an individual prosperity here in this dunya. No. But it is a prosperity that goes beyond the dunya. Naam, you'll have a good life here in this dunya, but also what? You'll have prosperity outside of the dunya. And if you reflect on the mu'min, you reflect on the believer, and you understand, as the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the believer, amruhu khair, that his believer, that his condition is good. Naam. The believer, his condition is good. All of it is good. All of his condition is good for him. All of his situation is good for him. In أصابته سراء شكر فكان خير له. فكان خير له. That if he is touched with prosperity, he is thankful, and that is better for him. When أصابته, if he is tested with prosperity, he's thankful, and that's better for him. When أصابته ضراء صبر فكان خير له. And if he is tested with calamities, he is patient, and that is better for him. So the believer, أمره كله خير. As the Prophet ﷺ said, his situation, all of it is good. So when you reflect upon this, you realize that no matter what a believer goes inside of this life, his situation is going to be good. Now, because he's either going to be thankful, he's going to be patient with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But also Allah Ta'ala, He goes on to say in the ayah, وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And He shall reward them. Istamir. Allah Ta'ala says what means. And He shall reward them according to the best of what they used to do. Naam. They shall be rewarded according to the best of what they used to do, according to their finest action and what they used to do from the righteous good deeds. This ayah can be found in Surah An-Nahl, in its verse 97. Naam. وَثَمَارُ الْإِيمَانِ وَأَثَارُهُ الْمُبَارَكَاتِ عَلَى الْعَبْدِ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْأُخْرَى. So the fruit, the good repercussions, the blessings upon the abd will be inside of his worldly life, and it also will be inside of his hereafter. It will be in this world and in the hereafter. لا تحصى ولا تستقصى وإن كل خير يناله العبد في الدنيا والآخرة وكل اندفاع شر يتحقق للعبد في الدنيا والآخرة هو من ثمار الإيمان وآثاره العظيمة المباركة. But rather, the blessings, the amount of blessings, the good repercussions, the good fruits that come from Iman is that which cannot be counted nor enumerated. In fact, there is not a single good that will touch the slave in this world or in the hereafter, nor a single evil that will be repelled from the slave in this world nor in the hereafter, except that comes about and is actualized because of the Iman. This is from the effects of Iman. There is not a single good that will reach him in this world or the next, or a single evil that will, or harm that he will be saved from and repelled from him in this world and the next, except that it is from the traces of Iman. It is from the repercussions of faith. It is from the good repercussions and the good fruits and tremendous blessings that come from Iman. Naam, that come from Iman. So now, how important is Iman? SubhanAllah. It's vital. It's beyond important. Al-Iman ajadlu mawahib wa a'zamu ataya. Iman is the greatest objective, the greatest goal, and it is the best thing that is given. It is the best gift, yani, that is given unto the slave. It is the best gift given to the slave. Wa aktharu minan, and it is the greatest blessing. Wa huwa minnatullah subhanahu wa ta'ala ala man yasha'u min ibadihi. And this is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He bestows on whom He chooses from His slaves. Naam. And this is why we realize that we have to put our effort into doing what? Into increasing our Iman, preserving and safeguarding our Iman, strengthening our Iman. Right? And we don't say that we put our effort into the attainment of Iman. Why? Who knows? Why? Why we don't say we put our effort in getting Iman?
Yeah, it increases and decreases.
Nah, it increases and decreases. But why do we? But how can we stress that we put our effort into increasing our Iman, preserving our Iman, safeguarding our Iman, so on and so forth? But you didn't hear me say we put our effort into getting Iman, obtaining it. How come? How come we don't say obtaining it?
It's an easier feat than maintaining it. Because one have to acquire it.
Okay, how do you acquire it?
The righteous deeds increase it, and disobedience decreases it.
I'm with you. The righteousness increases, disobedience decreases. But that doesn't speak to how it is acquired.
It's a belief in the heart.
Naam is a belief, but how is that acquired? How does Iman acquire? It's right there in the text. Check it out. Read that last. The first sentence of that next paragraph. Huh? Nah, I'm still within the prohibitions.
Must be granted.
Must be granted, which means what? Huh? Allah bestows it on whomever He wills. So Iman is what? It's a gift. It's a blessing. It's a gift from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's right. You see? Those whom Allah guides, none can misguide. Those whom Allah misguides, nobody can guide them. Why? Because it is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. That's why the Shaykh, he says that the Iman huwa minnatullah subhanahu wa ta'ala ala man yasha min ibadihi, that it is a gift from Allah that He bestows upon whom He chooses from His slaves. Now, you see? Allah Ta'ala, He has gifted us with Iman. This is a ni'mah. When a person realizes this, you understand? Check it out, right? Especially the youth, especially the young ones. And in particular, those Muslims that are second generation Muslims. Right? And also we can add to it, those Muslims who are first generation Muslims are parents who came to Kafir countries. Because a lot of times you find that there is a correlation, or there is some parallel between second generation Muslims and Muslims who are first generation Muslims, or parents who moved to Kafir countries. A lot of these children go astray. A lot of these children go astray. A lot of these children live lifestyles that are contrary to Islam. Some of them, wa'iyadu billah, leave Islam. You understand? Why? Because they don't realize the bounty that they are in. They don't realize the bounty that they are in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted them with iman. You have an opportunity. You've been gifted with iman. Access to the proper knowledge. Access to the Qur'an. Access to the Sunnah. Access to the way of the Salaf, the way of Sahaba. Now, you turn your back on that, and you want to follow what? This entertainer, this sports figure, so on and so forth. For what? What do they have? They don't have anything. They have nothing. But they turn their back on that, and they chasing after these individuals, not realizing that what? That good life they was looking for, they had the keys for it the whole time. In iman. You turn your back on the most precious gift and you throw it away for what? For what? For rap man so and so, actress such and such. For what? I mean, it makes no sense. You understand? But you only do that when you don't realize the value. Right? When you don't realize the value, then you do it. It's like if a person, for example, if he had a bar of platinum, right? And then it was a crumbly ball of aluminum foil. But because people is playing with the aluminum foil and kicking it and tossing it back and forth, and it's light and it fits good in his pocket, he says, you know, I'd rather carry around this aluminum foil here. I don't want that platinum. Put it away. I don't want that. I'd rather aluminum foil is easy to maneuver. It's easy to carry around. You know, I can wrap my sandwich in it, all kind of stuff. You know, aluminum foil is a joint, right? Not compared to platinum, but you will only make that trade when what? When you don't understand the value of the two things. When you don't understand the value of platinum, then you throw it away. You trade it for aluminum foil because you don't understand the value. Now that's a low example. When you don't understand the ni'mah, you don't understand the value of the deen of Islam. If you don't understand the great blessing of Islam, then a person will trade it for something else. Right? A person, he'll trade it for something else. Why? Because they don't understand the value. Wa'iyadu billah. And you don't want to be that type of individual who doesn't understand. Why? Because they will come to know. They will come to understand. And if they come to know and understand too late, when it's too late, that's the worst thing that can happen to an individual. If you come to understand when an angel is taking your soul, if that's when you get it, that's horrible. That's tragic. So iman is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala, He says, وَلَكِنَ اللَّهِ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانِ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. He said, but rather Allah has made iman, the true faith, beloved to you, and He has beautified it inside of your hearts. It's beloved to you and beautified inside of your hearts. وَكَرَّهُ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكُفْرَ وَالْفُسُوقَ وَالْعُصْيَانِ. And He has made it ugly, repugnant, disgusting, despicable unto you, disbelief, transgression, and sins, and disobedience. He has made that hated to you. So litmus test, you want to test your iman, how strong it is or the like, then reflect. The righteousness, wholesomeness, is this stuff that is beloved to you? Filth and transgression, is that stuff that is beloved to you? Or is it hated to you? Now, just reflect on that. Right? Allah Ta'ala, He says, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الرَّاشِدُونَ. meaning that those who they have a love for iman and is beautified inside of their hearts, those who hate kufr, who hate transgression, who hate evil, who hate sin, and so on and so forth, then these are the ones who are rightly guided. Ulaika humur rashidun. These are the ones who are rightly guided. And then this is the shahid. This is the point of reference in what we're talking about. The point of reference in what we're talking about is that what? Is that Allah Ta'ala goes on to say in the next ayah, فَضْلًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَالنِّعْمَةِ, a bounty from Allah and a blessing. A bounty from Allah and a blessing. وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. And Allah, He is the all-knower, the all-wise. So Iman is a what? It's a favor. It's a bounty. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These two verses can be found in Surah Al-Hujurat, in this verse 7 and verse 8. وَيَقول عز وجل, and Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, يَمُنُّونَ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا قُلْ لَا تَمُنُّوا عَلَيَّ إِسْلَامَكُمْ بَلِ اللَّهُ يَمُنُّ عَلَيْكُمْ أَنْ هَدَاكُمْ لِلْإِيمَانِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Allah Ta'ala, He says, and they try to use as a favor upon you that they have accepted Islam. They try to use that to say this is like they did you a favor, right? And like they did you a favor by accepting Islam. Talking to the Prophet ﷺ. And they try to utilize their acceptance of Islam as if it is a favor for you. Allah Ta'ala, He says, no, but rather, Allah Ta'ala, He says, قُلْ لَا تَمُنُّوا عَلَيَّ إِسْلَامَكُمْ. He says, no, but rather say to them, do not try to say it is a favor upon me that you accepted Islam. No, but rather Allah has bestowed a favor upon you that He guided you to Iman. If you are true, if you are the truthful. Now Allah Ta'ala, He has bestowed a favor upon you that He has guided you to Islam. So your Islam is not a favor for nobody. But rather Allah has bestowed a blessing upon you. Now, how many people, right? And a lot of times it comes in anger. But it's the dumbest statement where they say, you better be happy I'm a Muslim. Right? And usually that's like, usually that's followed by some like indirect threat. Because if not, I would do such and such and such and such. Right? But people say that. You better be happy I'm a Muslim. Man, you better be happy I'm Muslim. No, brother. You better be happy you're a Muslim. You understand? Yeah, Islam ain't no favor upon that person. It's a favor upon you. You better be happy you're a Muslim. Now, ويقول عز وجل, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته ما زكى منكم من أحد أبدا ولكن الله يزكي من يشاء. Allah Ta'ala says, and if it were not for the bounty of Allah upon you all and His mercy upon you, none from you would have become upright and wholesome. None from amongst you would have become good, become believers. But rather Allah, He purifies whom He pleases. Allah Ta'ala, He purifies whom He pleases. The Shaykh Abdul Razak, he said, وَالْآيَاتِ في هذا المعنى كثيرة. And that verse can be found in Surah An-Nur, and it's verse 21. The aforementioned verse, يَمُنُّ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا قُلْ لَا تَمُنُّوا عَلَيَّ إِسْلَامَكُمْ, to the end of it. That verse can be found in Surah Al-Hujurat, in its verse 17. Hujurat, verse 17. The Shaykh goes on and he says, وَيَقُومُ عَلَى أُصُولٍ عَظِيمَةٍ وَأُسُسٍ مَتِينَةٍ لَا قِيَامًا لِلْإِيمَانِ إِلَّا عَلَيْهَا. He said that Iman, it is established upon strong or it's established upon tremendous foundations and a strong foundation of which iman cannot be established except on upon it. فإن مثل هذه الأصول مع الإيمان كمثل الأساس للبنيان أو أصول للأشجار. He said because the similitude of these foundations. Now, the Shaykh Rahimahullah Ta'ala, he says that the similitude of what is commonly translated as articles, right? The articles of faith. He said that their similitude is the similitude of the support pillars of a structure. The foundation and support pillars of a structure, or for the roots, the foundational roots of a tree, right? أصول الأشجار, those roots of a tree, right? And this is why in the beginning I mentioned that pillar is used for Iman, just like pillar is used for Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam. Likewise, in Arabic, you have the 6 pillars of Iman. Why? Because of the similitude, right? The similitude, the supporting structure of it, and that's important to understand. Because when you take away the supporting structure of a building, what happens? It falls down, right? If you take away the roots of a tree, what happens? The tree, it dies. And this is why they use this example, so that we understand the significance of these pillars of Iman. Of these pillars of Iman. وكما يدل لذلك قول الله تعالى, and just like this is pointed out, or in Allah Ta'ala's statement, ألم ترى كيف ضرب الله مثلا كلمة طيبة. He says, and have you not seen how Allah has put forth a parable for the good word? The parable for the good word is like what? كشجرة طيبة, is like a good tree. أصلها ثابت, its roots are firm. وفرعها في السماء, and its branches reach to the skies. تؤتي أكلها كل حين بإذن ربها. The fruits of it come all the time, all seasons, by the permission of his Lord. نعم. ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس لعلهم يتذكرون. And Allah puts forward these parables to mankind so that they could reflect. They could remember. نعم. So when one looks at that example of a tree, and the roots. If the roots are strong, then what? The tree is strong. If the roots are weak, disease, decay, die, they're no longer there, they shrivel up, then what happens? The tree dies. The tree dies. Now, so when the ulama from the Salaf, because remember, this is these are istilahat. These are what do you say? These are terms that are used so that to bring the understanding nearer. Okay? These are terms that are used to bring the understanding nearer of these particular concepts. Way of articulating these concepts so that they can be understood. That makes sense? So the term of arkan, that particular word that's being used for iman, you find this was the word that the ulama utilized from the Salaf, they utilized so that Muslims can understand the relation between these things and between Islam. The relation between these things and between iman. So they call them what? Arkan. But where did they get this understanding from? Why would they call it arkan and not something else? Why would they call it this? Because of the likes of this ayah. Now, so they liken it to the pillars of a structure or the roots of a tree. Or the roots of a tree. The person, where did they get that? Where did they get that? The ayah. The ayah. Because the goodly word, what's the parable for the goodly word? Is like that of what? A tree that has what? Firm, strong roots. Firm, strong roots. Now, make sense? Makes sense? Now, فهذا مثل ضربه الله سبحانه وتعالى لعباده. This is a parable that Allah Ta'ala He put forward to His slaves. وَدَعَاهُمْ لِتَأَمُّلِ. And Allah Ta'ala He called them to reflect on it. وَتَفَكُّرُ فِيهِ. And to ponder over it. To contemplate and ponder over it. فِي بَيَانِ الْإِيمَانِ وَأُصُولِهِ. So that they can understand the structure of Iman and its foundations. مَا يَقُومُ عَلَيْهِ وَمَا يَقُومُ عَلَيْهِ. And that which it stands upon. وَمَا يَتَفَرَّعُ عَنْهُ مِنْ فُرُوعٍ. And that which will stem from it, from the branches. وَمَا يَتَرَتَّبُ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ ثِمَارٍ وَفَوَائِدٍ. And that which will subsequently result from it, from fruits and from blessings. يَنَالُهَا أَهْلُ الْإِيمَانِ. That only the people of Iman, that the people of Iman, they will get it. Where? فِي الدُّنْيَاهُمْ وَأُخْرَاهُمْ. Inside of this world and inside of the next. وَالشَّاهِدْ مِنْ إِرَادِ هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ قَوْلُهُ جَلَّ وَعَلَى. And the point of reference from referencing this particular ayah is Allah Ta'ala's statement. Which statement of Allah Ta'ala in the ayah? I want the Arabic. Which statement of it is it? Who knows? Which statement is the point of reference from the aforementioned ayah? That is a proof of what we're talking about. Give me the statement in English, and then we can go backwards. His root is firmly fixed. طيب. In Arabic, what would it be? Looking at ayah, it's thabit. It's the second part of it. Thabitun. What's the first part? Naam. That's it right there. Asluha. Naam. Asluha is roots thabit, strong. Naam. فكما أن الشجرة لا يقوم إلا على أصوله. Just like a tree it doesn't stand except for upon its roots. فكذلك الإيمان. Likewise, Iman لا يقوم إلا على أصوله وأركانه وَدَعَائِمِهِ. That likewise Iman it is not established except for upon its foundations, except upon its pillars, except upon its foundation pillars like this. Now, فإذا كان الشجرة إذا قطع أصلها ماتت. Just like a tree, if you cut its roots, what happens? Dies. نعم. كذلك الإيمان. Likewise Iman. إذا عدم أصلها انتفى. If its roots are non-existent, then it's voided. There's no Iman. ولم ينتفع بعمل ولا قربة. And a person will not benefit. In that case, when a person has no Iman, they will not benefit from any righteous good deeds or from any deed that would draw one near unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because they have no Iman. They have no Iman, so they won't benefit. كما قال Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He mentions, He says, وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And whoever disbelieves in Iman, then his actions will be rendered null and void, and in the hereafter he will be from the losers. In Surah Al-Ma'idah. So the point of reference is what? let's go back. What we're talking about now is that what? If a person does not have iman, right? A person does not have true faith. Stimul. A person does not have true faith. What is faith again? Is it correctly believe in what? Allah, angels, books, messengers, prophets and messengers, day of judgment, qadr, khayrihi wa sharr, right? The good and the bad of qadr. Wait, gotta believe in all of it correctly, properly. That's iman, right? If a person has no iman, whatever good deed they do, whatever they do that for a person who had iman will draw him near unto Allah, does not count. Does not count at all. What's the proof? What's the proof it don't count? Is what? The ayah from Surah Al-Ma'idah. Alright, now I want y'all to break it down for me. What's the proof? What's the verse? What's the verse say?
Disbelieve in faith.
Whoever disbelieves in faith, what they disbelieve in what? In iman. Why? Because they don't believe in Allah, or they don't believe in the messengers, or they don't believe in the books, or they don't believe in qadr, khayrihi wa sharri, or they don't believe in the angels, or they don't believe in the day of judgment. Right? Okay. Then what? If they do righteousness, what happens? It's worthless. Break it down from the ayah. What's the point of reference in the ayah which shows?
His work has become worthless.
His work has become worthless. And what else?
And he in the hereafter will be amongst losers.
And he in the hereafter will be from amongst the losers. Contemplate over that verse.
That's an example for the Qadariya.
Oh nah, bila shak, bila raib. That shows that what they fall into is very dangerous. But even more simply, right? Especially during this time of the year, is this not? In other words, now let me ask a question differently. When we reflect over this particular verse, how is it possible for Muslims to believe that the Jews and the Christians are believers? How is it possible? How is it possible to give them credit, for lack of a better term, for good deeds that they may do? Well, they feed the poor. They buy them coats. They dig wells for water. Right? They plant trees. And so on and so forth. Right? So we got to give them some credit, right? No. So for the Muslim, we say, so what? So what? They do all that stuff. It amounts to nothing. What's the proof it amounts to nothing?
No iman.
Because they have no iman. Right? But what's the proof? And then because they have no iman, then what? What does Allah say about their deeds is what? It's worthless. Because they have no iman. How could it? Now, iman is to do what?
Believe in Allah.
Properly believe in Allah. But how can a Christian properly believe in Allah and they believe that Allah is made of three things? The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. That sound like somebody believe in Allah? No, so how are they believers? How do we give them credit because they feed people and they take care of orphans? Huh?
No iman.
Also from iman is to do what? Believe in the messengers, correct? But how do Jews believe in the messengers when they disbelieve in Isa? And they disbelieve in who? Muhammad. How they believers? They're not. Like, the Christians, how are they believers? What prophet do they disbelieve in? Muhammad sallallahu. Now, and they disbelieve in Isa, real for real. They didn't believe in him in what he said. He said Muhammad sallallahu was coming. Muhammad sallallahu came. They didn't believe Muhammad, so by default they disbelieve in Isa.
They don't believe there's a messenger.
Now, so then what? How they believe?
Not possible.
It's not possible. It's not possible. And then on and on and on. We can get into, because an incorrect belief equates to a disbelief. So, for example, because the Jews and the Christians, they believe incorrectly in the Day of Judgment, their belief is a non-belief, because what they believe going to happen is not reality what's really going to happen. So, for example, those Christians, you have from the Christians who believe that on the Day of Judgment,
Isa alayhi salam is going to judge all of mankind. Not Allah, Isa. This is what they believe. That Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, Yawmul Qiyamah, he is the one that's going to put people in hell and in the hellfire, people in hell and put people in Jannah. He's the one that's going to judge human beings. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. That's what they believe. Is that reality? No, it's fiction. It's fiction. It's not real. On the day of judgment, what is Isa going to say? Nafsi, nafsi. Myself, myself. Worry about myself. When the people come to him to tell him to beseech Allah Ta'ala, make dua to Allah Ta'ala, ask Allah Ta'ala to start the judgment, what are you going to say? Nafsi, nafsi. Go to Muhammad. He worried about himself. He's not going to judge anyone. He doesn't put people in hell or inside of Jannah. Just like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he does not put anyone in hell nor anyone in Jannah. Allah Ta'ala judges. Allah Ta'ala puts the people in the Jannah, puts the people in the hellfire, and so on and so forth. All that is by what? Allah SWT. Nobody will intercede in front of Allah Ta'ala except with His permission. Except with His permission. And that intercession will only be for the one who He's pleased with, the one who's interceding, and He's pleased with the one who's getting the intercession. It's all by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what they believe in is going to take place is not going to take place. The Jews believe Yawmul Qiyamah, all the Gentiles, which means everybody who's not a Jew, they're going to go to the fire, and then the Jew going to go to the Jannah. And the Jew that go to the fire going to go to the fire for a little bit of time, and then say he's going to go to the Jannah. That's what they believe. But is that the reality? No. So they believe in what? A fiction. So what they so their misbelief in the Day of Judgment equates to a misbelief, equates to a disbelief. That makes sense? It's a disbelief. They don't really believe in the Day of Judgment. Right? I'll give you another example. I'll give you an example rather. That's like if you tell me, hey, do you know what water is? And I say, yeah, I know what water is. They say, what is it? And I say, well, water, you got to make it with, high fructose corn syrup, and it has to have coloring, and it has to have carbonation, and, so on and so on. And I start, breaking down the what do you call it? The recipe for cola. And I say, that's water. What you going to say? You're going to say, yeah, I don't know what water is. It's an absurd example, of course. But you're going to say, you don't know what water is, because I'm asking you about water, you're describing soda. and you claiming that this soda really is water. I say, no, that's water, it's soda. You say it's soda, it's water. I don't know, this water stuff you're talking about. That's what the real water is, this. Then you're going to say, man, I don't know about no water, man. Right? Because I described something to you that was fictitious. I didn't describe what the reality is, or a description that met reality. So the point is that their misbelief equates to a disbelief. So with this being the case from all these angles, how in the world could they be believers? How in the world could a person give them credit for anything that they're doing? In a Muslim in particular, we're talking about the Muslim. And this, I stress this especially around this time of the year, around these kafir holidays and things like this, because you find a lot of Muslims, they be talking like this. Wishing them, congratulating them for their holidays, wishing them, merry this and happy that, and, see all this type of stuff. SubhanAllah. It's unfortunate. There was an Australian individual in Jacksonville, Florida, just yesterday, in the khutbah to Jumu'ah. Right? And we put it for the world to see. Happened to see it online. They recorded it live online. Right? It's in Jacksonville, Florida. The place looks strange, Yeah, it looks strange. Not trying to be funny or anything. What do you say?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I don't know, it looks strange, man. It look weird, I'm not, I'm not trying to be, whatever, but yeah, it look weird. So, The man he's standing there for the for what it became clear this is Jumu'ah, Jumu'ah is okay. So his opening, well, after he made his little dua or whatever, the opening, he starts congratulating the Jews on the Hanukkah, wishing them a happy Hanukkah to our Jewish brothers. He's saying that's what he said. They brothers are apes and swines. Ain't my brother, but whatever. Then, after thanking them, he wishes the Christians a Merry Christmas for their Christmas about to come and things like that for his Christian brothers. Listen to khutbah that he's live streaming. And I'm like, what kind of nonsense?
Yeah, that sounds like St. Joe's Bluff.
Yeah, it's probably the place, I said, what kind of nonsense is this? Subhanallah. It was awful. It was awful, actually. It really was awful. It was a tragedy that you see Muslims in their belief is so flawed, so corrupted, that they have these thoughts that these individuals are believers. When Allah Ta'ala makes it clear, they disbelieve in Iman. They don't believe in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They don't believe in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in reality, right? They don't believe in the messengers. Because they'll tell you straight up they disbelieve in certain messengers. They'll tell you, the Jew will tell you straight up he don't believe in Isa, he don't believe in Muhammad. The Christian will tell you straight up they don't believe in Muhammad. Alayhi salatu wassalam. How are these people believers? How do we have anything good to say about them? In reality, really, how do we have anything good to say about them from a religious standpoint? In all fairness, how can we say anything good about them religiously? We can't. We can't. Right? And I don't want anyone to misinterpret or misunderstand. Because they say, but Allah Ta'ala mentions some of the monks, in a good way in the Qur'an. Yeah, those who truly believe, those who were the believers from their time. Those who, when they hear about Islam, they accept Islam. That's those ones who are being spoken about. Those are the ones being spoken about. Those who were the believers from the people of the past, before the sending of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who, after the sending of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they hear about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they accept Islam. The likes of those, yes. But these ones, come on. Allah says that their deeds are what? Null and void. Habita amalu. His deed is null and void. Why? Because may yakfur bil iman. He disbelieves in faith. He disbelieves in iman. Na'am. So regardless of what these individuals may do from that which is apparently righteous, it's of no credit to them. Because they are kuffar. فأعمال وطاعات وأنواع القربات إنما تكون مقبولة من العامل إذا كانت قائمة على إيمان صحيح والعقيدة راسخة ثابتة في القلب. So righteous good deeds and obedience and the various types of drawing near unto Allah, then verily they are only accepted from the doer when they emanate from an individual having iman, the correct iman, from one who is upon iman, correct iman, and the firm creed, the firm aqidah that is firm inside of his heart. وَلِهَذَا فالإيمان بأصول الإيمان بأصوله العظيمة أسسه المتينة يصح الأعمال. So therefore we see that Iman and its great foundations and its strong, its great pillars and strong foundations, then this is that which will rectify a deed and make it eligible to be accepted. وَلَا تَكُونُ مَقْبُولَةً إِلَّا بِهِ. And it is not accepted except by way of it, except with Iman. كما قال جل وعلا, as Allah جل وعلا, He says, وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةَ وَسَعَ لَهَا سَعْيَهَا وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ فَأُولَئِكَ كَانَ سَعْيُهُمْ مَشْكُورًا. And whoever desires the hereafter, and he strives for it with a striving, and he is a believer, then these are the ones who their striving is met with gratitude, is thanked. Mainly, that these are the ones who will be successful. This is in Surah Al-Isra, and it's verse 19. Naam. وقال تعالى, and Allah Ta'ala, He says, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن. Right? And we had this verse before. And whoever does a righteous good deeds, be it male or female, and they are what? They are believers. They are believers. نعم. والآيات في هذا المعنى كثيرة. And the ayat that come bearing this meaning, then they are a lot. They are many indeed. So all of this shows us that for an individual to benefit from Iman, or from an individual to benefit and have his actions accepted, then he must be an individual who does what? He believes properly. So when one reflects upon the likes of this, then they realize that the issue and the affair of believing properly is undoubtedly an important lesson that everybody is in need of. Everybody is in need of, and we're in need of spending time on learning what is the proper belief, how to believe properly, and so on and so forth, and to devote time to it, and to not be of those who are rendered bored by it. Because how many individuals that tell you, oh, why you guys always talking about Tawheed, why you always talking about Aqidah? You can learn that in, a little bit of time. You can learn that in a little bit of time. Then you have those that are even more astray, and they say, oh, you have to, worry about Iman. What are you talking about? How you worry about Iman if you ain't worried about Aqidah? What do you mean? You don't understand how it works? You say, don't worry about Aqidah, just worry about Iman. You don't understand how it works? How is that? How is that done? They're interconnected. What do you mean? Right? Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah. Ala ni'mat al-Islam wa Sunnah. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. So therefore, we understand that these are great bounties indeed, and these are things that we have to strive to safeguard and protect, strive to learn about them, and we don't become bored with learning about them, because when we learn about them and we enhance them, then this becomes a catalyst. This becomes that which makes it eligible for us to have a good life. And everybody should want to have a good life in this world and a good life in the hereafter. And that's only attained by those who have Iman. That's only attainable if you have Iman. Without Iman, you'll never be able to attain it, ever. So this is why these things, yes, is important, because you want to have a good life here and in the next life. You want to have a good life here and in the next life. And then the Shaykh Ta'ala, he goes on to continue in his introduction, and we're talking about Shaykh Abdul Razak Ta'ala, because he gives a nice little introduction before getting into the arkan, the explanation of the arkan of Iman, the pillars of Iman. But bidnillahi ta'ala, we will continue from this point in the next class. فنكتفي بهذا القدر وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وجزاكم الله خيرا.